Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we turn confusing corporate reports into something you can actually understand. Today we're diving into a proxy statement, and trust me, it's not as dull as it sounds. Think of it as a behind the curve. We'll decode some proposals that might seem like financial mumbo jumbo, but they could actually change how the company operates. It's like watching a corporate chess game, and we're here to tell you who's moving which pieces. So Patriot National Bancorp wants your vote. This proxy statement is basically a guide for shareholders about what they'll be voting on at the upcoming annual meeting. It's got everything from electing directors to approving a new equity plan. If you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come share your opinion after watching the video. Here's to approving. First, let's talk about why they're even having this vote. It all boils down to a recent private placement where they raised a good chunk of money, about 57.75 million. This involved issuing new shares of common stock and something called Series A preferred stock. As part of this deal, they need shareholder approval for some key changes. Basically, some big investors made demands in exchange for their cash, and now shareholders need to vote yes or no. What are these key changes? First, they want to increase the amount of stock the company is authorized to issue. Think of it like expanding the number of slices in a pie. Right now, they can issue 101 million shares. They want to bump that up to a whopping 2.2 billion. Most of this increase is for common stock, and they're also creating two classes of common stock. Voting and non-voting. Next, they want to approve something called the 2025 Omnibus Equity Incentive Plan. This is a plan that lets them give stock options and other stock-based awards to employees, directors, and consultants. It's a way to motivate people by giving them a piece of the company. Okay, let's move on to the voting itself. Shareholders will be voting on a few key proposals. First up is electing 8 directors to the board. The 8 people with the most votes win. Seems straightforward enough. Then they will vote on whether to approve the equity plan proposal and the charter proposal. You need more votes in favour than votes against it for those to succeed. The next vote is for the amended and restated certificate of incorporation, the charter proposal, which again the votes need to be more in favour than against. This is important because it authorises the company to issue a whole lot more stock and allows for the conversion of the Series A preferred stock. There is the Nasdaq proposal that also needs more votes in favour than against. This relates to complying with Nasdaq listing rules, specifically regarding the potential issuance of more shares. Finally, shareholders will vote to ratify the appointment of RSM US LLP as the company's independent auditor. This is more of a formality, but it's still important. You need more votes in favour than votes against it for this to be a yes. You can vote online, by phone, or by mail. Instructions are included in the proxy materials. If you hold your shares through a broker, bank, or other financial institution, you'll get instructions from them. Let's talk about who they want you to vote for as directors. Michael Carrazza is currently the chairman of the board. He is being nominated again. He has background in investment management. Then there's Steven Sugarman, who's currently the president of the company. Before he founded Bank of California, he is nominated again too. Edward Constantino, another nominee, has been a director since 2010 with audit, advisory, and tax experience. Emil van den Bol has also been a director since 2010 with experience in the commercial real estate group of Deutsche Bank Securities Inc. Alon Abadi is the chief executive officer of Waterfall Bridge Capital, which is in the real estate lending industry. Anahet Magzanian currently serves as president of Los Angeles Times Studios. Lastly, Carlos Salas has experience in finance, law, and executive leadership, and Mario da Tomasi has experience in mortgage finance and capital markets. Now let's look at how this company is run. The board of directors is the top dog, making sure the company is heading in the right direction. There are different committees like the audit committee, which keeps an eye on the finances, and the compensation committee, which decides how much the executives get paid. Speaking of compensation, let's take a quick peek at what the non-employee directors got paid in 2024. CAF4 Edward Constantino made about $85,000 and Emil van den Bol got around $84,000. This includes fees and stock awards. Moving on in this section about relationships and related transactions, there is mention that there were no loans to officers and directors outstanding as of December 31, 2023. Here's a look at who owns the most stock in the company. As of May 16, 2025, Steven Sugarman owns about 9.2% of the common stock. FHMB LLC owns about 8.7% and CB Growth Capital LLC owns 7.9%. This gives you a sense of who has the most influence. Now let's dive into the financials for the top executives. In 2024, David Lowery, the former CEO, made about $415,000. Alfred Botter, the Executive Vice President and Chief Payments Officer of the bank, made about $576,000. Now to take a quick look at how the company did compared to how the executives were compensated. For 2024, David Lowery made about $415,000 and the company had a net loss of about $39.8 million. Finally, we have some annexes that go into more detail about the equity plan and the amended certificate of incorporation. These are the legal documents that spell out the specifics of these proposals. So what is the story behind these documents and their numbers? In 2024, their CEO was handsomely paid while losing almost $40 million. The document is trying to get shareholders to vote on the new leader's terms, as well as authorize some new financing that would yet again dilute the stock of existing shareholders. If I was an investor here, I would heavily consider voting no to some of these proposals and demanding more action items that serve the investors instead of paying existing executives. Alright, that's our breakdown of Patriot National Bancorp's proxy statement. What's your take on these proposals and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.